All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest to the show. $5 Wrestling Week is continuing here with Little Donnie. How you doing, Little Donnie?
I'm doing good.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
No problem. My first question will be to you: how did you get started in professional wrestling?
My brother trained me back in like 2005, and
Okay.
I went from there.
Okay. Now,
My brother's Big Donnie.
oh, Big Donnie. Okay. Now, you guys kind of have a feud. It's like an ongoing feud going on. Is that correct?
We've had rivals. We've been teamed up before. We've faced each other. We've teamed.
Nice.
We've beat the crap out of each other. It's a brother rivalry.
Definitely.
It's like the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, like the Hardy Boys, the Steiners, kind of in that kind of realm.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, my question would be to you: who was your first opponent in your career?
My first opponent would have to be my brother's tag team partner, Gentleman James.
Oh, okay. Were you nervous for your first match?
Uh, nah,
Okay,
I had to go in there and listen and not mess up.
that's very important. Yeah, not mess up. That's there's a lot that goes into that. You got to definitely listen and follow the lead. Um,
Yeah,
is your first match on tape or anything, or on DVD?
yeah. $5 got like DVDs and stuff. It's like on you get a
Okay,
high spot store and buy the $5 DVDs and stuff.
nice. My question would be to you. Okay.
$5 is a good company.
Yeah,
I like wrestling for them. They've got some good wrestlers, Freight Train, Jeff Hart, Ray Rock, and all of them. Them are some good guys.
yeah. I enjoy watching all of them. They're all a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun
Yeah,
to
I
watch.
like all of them guys and stuff. They're good. They're good to work with.
Definitely. Now, do you guys get compensated at all for like your DVDs? They get
Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
okay. So basically, how did you get involved with $5 wrestling?
I made a Heroes of Burke County with $5 wrestling.
Okay,
Heroes of Burke County DVD, and me and JC Steele and Big Time Braid, and there's a bunch of us from here, from Burke County, that was on the DVD.
nice.
Some people didn't like it because I cut my head in front of the camera,
Yeah,
but you learn stuff a lot more, and you learn from your mistakes. And everybody said I've got a lot better than I have been.
I've noticed.
'Cause, I'm going to be on a show. I'm wrestling Freight Train show the 27th up in down towards Alomar,
Okay.
and I'm going to be at the Carnage Cup in Tennessee, Jasper, Tennessee.
Oh, tell us some more about that.
I'm in like a 5. It's like a Clemson Mass battle royale. It's going. You gotta be bleeding to be thrown over the top rope. Jeff Hart's in it. My brother's in it. James is in it. Psycho's in it.
Nice.
He's a bunch of workers, and he's about, I say 12 of us or 20 of us.
Wow. So is it an official $5 wrestling like show where they're gonna tape it, or is it just kind of more just a show?
It's a man that owns. He runs down. He's got a show down in. It's called. It's like he runs down in Alabama. He runs like a hardcore company in Tennessee and stuff. It's called the Carnage Cup
Okay.
of 2015.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
There's gonna be a lot of blood. Let me see, Necker Butcher's gonna be there. I just worked with him a couple weeks ago in a battle royal up in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. He's still wrestling too. Okay.
Yeah, he's a pretty good stiff worker.
He seems like it. He's a tough customer.
Yeah, he learned me a lot of stuff that night.
That's cool.
He learned me how to get stiff and how when local people and they didn't hit me hard enough to hit them hard and let them to know to hit me harder.
Jeez.
He learned me a lot of stuff.
Do you
And
think?
I don't know why he's not up in WWE. Necker is a good worker.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like people like frown upon like that deathmatch stuff. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Do you think stiff wrestling is a good or bad thing? Like working like tough like that. Do you think in the long run it's a good idea, or it's like
If you barely hit somebody and stuff,
yeah,
that's not like called working and stuff.
yeah,
But you go in there and you like make contact with them and stuff and hit them like they hit you and stuff.
mm-hmm.
That's what I've been trained on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, when they hit you, you hit them right back the hardest they hit you.
Well, that's good.
And that's one thing at Necker Butcher, they just taught me and my brother and Terry and James.
Uh
Pork Chop Cash and Terry Houston. They've taught me and my brother has to.
That's cool.
My brothers beat the crap out of me over the years, but
I've seen that.
sooner or later it's going to come that it's going to be Little Donnie versus Daniel Donnie.
Interesting.
I want to see it, but I think it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more matchups. I enjoyed the Death Party Death match, and then Dance Party afterwards.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, that was an intense match.
I loved it. It's like Pondo and Ray Dobson and stuff. They didn't have to stick their neck out there for $5, but they did. They did it because they loved us and because we worked hard for what we bring in and stuff like that.
Yeah, very true. I remember when I enjoyed your match too when you teamed up with Pondo at the Rumble, the $5 Wrestling Rumble. That was enjoyable too.
Yeah.
Um,
And me and now Freight Train, awesome as crap.
yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Cool.
Would you like to wrestle him one day? I think you're talking about that. Or is that in the works? Maybe you could have a match with Freight Train.
Me and him had a match up in it was two shows. Dance party was me and Pondo and my brother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the first match I wrestled up there was against Freight Train.
Oh, cool.
And that was like one of my best matches in my whole career.
Yeah, I mean,
The whole time we was in there wrestling and stuff, he would get me sniggering and laughing.
oh yeah,
And Freight Train was awesome.
yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Well, I like when you had your Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage tag team match too. That was pretty fun.
Oh, it was nice too.
And I can see you're definitely improving in wrestling too. Like I watched the last match that I saw so far was that Bon Voyage, the Freight Train.
Yeah.
You had a really good match there. You were definitely like, I think a little bit too good for $5 wrestling almost at that point.
A lot of people says I am, but I love wrestling, and as long as they're gonna keep me around, I'll work for them, and
Yeah, definitely.
I'll work for them till they get me out.
Well, yeah, I mean it's nice too because it gets you exposure. You know, you're known now, probably around the world with those DVDs.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite opponent that you've to always like to wrestle?
I'm gonna was like four favorite opponents I like to wrestle. My brothers won.
Okay.
Big Donnie, or Big Donnie, they call him.
Uh-huh.
Terry Houston's number 2. Pork Chop Cash is number 4. No limit, it'd be 5.
Mm-hmm.
Freight Train's 1. And Jeff Hart.
Yeah, Jeff Hart. He's an interesting one.
Yeah, Jeff Hart, medium out of match shit's been, I'll say, been back last year. We had one of Milestone Wrestling.
Yeah.
And that, I actually took Jeff to the limit.
Nice.
It was like a blood everywhere.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time that Jeff Hart ever bled.
Oh, wow.
And he's supposed to be in Jasper, Tennessee, the 28th.
Uh-huh.
And he says he's going to pit Little Donnie out for good.
Uh-oh. Well, there's some build-up right there.
I believe I'm going to have to make him eat them words.
Definitely make an example out of him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to fit the new Jeff Hart up on the shelf.
Yeah, is he doing like a UFC shoot fighter kind of gimmick now? Okay. That's what I thought.
Jeff always said he's a lot better than Little Donnie.
Uh-huh.
But coming February 28th, he'll see Little Donnie at his best.
Yeah, beat the heck out of him. He deserves it.
Jeff don't know what he's getting himself into when he barks up the wrong tree.
Uh-oh. He's in for some trouble. So this is February 28th again?
It's February 28th.
Okay.
In Jasper, Tennessee. I think I don't know if it's going to be an interview. I don't know if it's going to be an internet pay-per-view or what.
Okay.
But I would since I've got your number, I'll get back with you and let you know if it is, and that way you can order and stuff and watch this and stuff. And
that'd be great.
I think that'll be one of my best matches. Is I'm in there against my brother.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm in there against Pork Chop Cash. I'm in there against Cornbread.
Nice.
Jeff Hart, Psycho Kid, some guy down from Alabama.
Mm-hmm. It's
gonna be good.
Sounds good.
I think it's gonna be real good, and I've got a show coming up the 21st at Milestone Wrestling.
Okay.
February 21st. It's me and a young guy taking on Blood Money.
Nice.
You probably heard of them. It's like a group of black boys. They're running like a group that's called Blood Money.
Okay.
They're pretty good workers.
Oh, that'll be neat to see too.
This will be my first time working them. They're pretty stiff, and they just haven't met Little Donnie yet.
Well, I can tell you could definitely take you can take the stiff wrestlers, that's for sure, man. You got a good resilience to you.
I'll take a beating and keep on ticking.
That's awesome. Well, that's what I've noticed about a lot of you guys. You guys got a lot of like resiliency, a lot of heart. You're a good group of wrestlers. I mean, you're fun to watch, and you're very loyal to $5 wrestling as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite professional wrestler, which I'm gonna say a role model or anything like that?
Do I have a favorite wrestler that's in WWE or TNA?
Yeah, anybody. It can be anywhere. NWA, Texas wrestling, whatever. Memphis, anybody.
I've got five best wrestlers I like.
Okay.
Randy Orton's one.
Okay.
I don't know why they're doing him the way they're doing him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't watched that in a long time.
And I like Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And I like Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I like him too. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, it's like I like the old people that gets in there, bust their ass, and
Yeah,
show what the business needs to see.
exactly.
Yeah, I used to be like a Hulk Hogan fan,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Well, yeah,
Hogan, it's like Hogan. I would say he's like a worker, and then I would say he's not.
yeah,
It was like Hogan. Yeah, the fans loved him, but Hogan was like a brawler.
yeah, yeah. He didn't have
And
the mat
I
type wrestling skills.
I would have to bro. I would have to throw. Yeah, Randy Orton. Let me see. Roman Reigns is good,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's his time yet.
yeah. That's the thing with a lot of that up there. Seems like
The way Vince or him's doing, when they brought the Rock out and stuff, they tried to use the Rock to build to make the fans like Roman.
yeah. You can't do
And
that.
now they're going to have to do something to turn Roman bad or something.
Well, I don't think he's. I mean, these guys don't have enough training. I think when it comes down to it, I just don't think some of these guys don't have that natural ability. Like 30 years
Yeah,
30 years ago, you had all the territories, and these guys could excel because they were wrestling almost every night in front of people. And I
yeah,
just there's only so
yeah.
much this development or whatever can do for these guys. And once you're with the live
Now,
people, you either got it or you don't.
now Vince McMahon's got one for right now. Now I say he's got like three people for right now he can put a belt on right now.
Yeah.
But I do not see him doing it.
No.
And that's Dean Ambrose, Great White,
Hmm.
and what's his God, I'll forget his name here in a minute.
Okay.
God. And Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. Okay.
That's That's the one that Vince has got right now that can stand that holding the belt.
Yeah, and you can see that I don't think Vince has a lot of confidence in these guys.
Yeah, but somebody said Brock's contract comes up at WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
That's what they were saying on the Stone Cold broadcast thing.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched. You mean his Stone Cold podcast or WWE?
Yeah, the Stone Cold broadcast where he had Triple H on there.
No, I didn't listen to that one. I listened to the Vince McMahon one. I haven't listened to that yet.
He had Triple H on this past one, and he said that Triple H was saying that Brock was going to give it like Brock's contract or something that was coming up at WrestleMania.
Okay. I believe it. He hasn't wrestled much. It doesn't look like he has. I mean, at least, for the past couple months.
Yeah. I would love to make it into WWE, but if I don't, I like working here, and I like to make it in TNA.
Yeah.
But if I don't, it's fine.
Well, I mean,
But I just love wrestling. That's all.
and that's what I like about all you guys. You love the business, and you're dedicated, and you're loyal. And it's great. That's the thing with those. Go ahead.
It's like back in the long times when me and my brother was growing up, I always watched like Ric Flair, Holly Race, Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, there's all the good wrestlers there.
Crocodiles,
Man.
it was like Ivan Koloff and all of them. They was what paved the way for the young guys.
Definitely. Yeah,
Ric Flair might be a buck sometimes,
yeah,
but he still got it.
he does.
Flair always be something in the business.
Definitely.
Yeah, he'll always be a legend. Yeah, he can be a smart butt sometimes, but Yeah, right. You have to overlook it. I guess he's been in the business too long, and I don't think he's let it go to his head or nothing. He's just wanting the young guys to learn.
Very true. Good person to learn from.
Yeah, I've looked up the Flair. I've looked up the Harley Race. I've looked up the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I just met him like uh probably about 3 weeks ago at a show called Big Time Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him here in Morganton. He was a very nice guy.
Seems like it pretty laid back, you know.
Yeah, George South #1 trained his son, Little Richie Steamboat.
Yeah, what happened to him? Did he go anywhere, Richie? Was he? Is he?
I think when he was in NXT, somebody said he hurt his back or something.
Okay. Huh.
My brother was telling me he hurt his back or something there and had to take time off. And I was talking to his daddy up there when they had him at the rec and stuff for Big Time Wrestling, and he said he didn't know if his son would come back right now and stuff. Said he's been having a lot of stuff with his back, but he was probably going to come back in the future.
Yeah, once you hurt your back, I mean, I've hurt my
Yeah.
back. I was out for like a year and a half, just
Yeah.
physically.
You wrestle for it.
Well, I don't wrestle for anybody, not yet, but I would like to start training very soon. But that's been the issue with my life, my back.
Who
I
you going to start training with?
I'm not sure. I live in Pittsburgh, so I'm looking at the different wrestling schools. Um,
Yeah.
it's a little bit expensive. So I'm trying to save up for that. Just my problem is though, I've herniated 2 discs before, and I'm trying to build my back up. So,
Yeah.
because you're constantly getting slammed on that mat, and it's not like horrendously bad getting slammed. I've been slammed on it a couple times, but
Mhm.
it just I don't want to wear out my back real bad from the get go.
Uh, but there's a lot of stuff that's like, when you got a dream and you want to be a professional wrestler,
Yeah,
you gotta fight for that dream.
definitely.
You can't go out here and work shitty matches or anything like that. You gotta earn, you gotta bust your butt in the business and you gotta show everything that you gotta show people you can earn stuff and go out there and do matches real good and go out there and show them you can work with anybody.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
And like to me, like I mean, like if I do this, my style of wrestling would be like the slower pace. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put people to sleep, but I don't want to do a lot of that high flying stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause I just think it's unrealistic for me. But
Yeah. I do like whatever my brother and them says, I'll do.
yeah,
But it's like when you trust somebody and stuff to catch you. And
yeah,
like some people say they're gonna catch you when you come on the road,
yeah,
and then they don't. And then there you've got hurt and they don't care about you or nothing.
yeah. That's horrible. That's a shame when that happens.
And it's like, I've had butterflies when I fly in midair and my brother then catches me.
Yeah,
When they say they're going to catch me, I can count on that.
yeah, which is good.
But it's just like, when you got like a young rookie that says you want to fly and stuff and I'll catch you, I get too worried about that. I don't think he's going to also he's learning to me and I won't do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
If he wants to fly, I'll catch him. I'll
Yeah.
be a nice veteran and catch him.
Yeah, I just with the high flying and stuff. Yeah, you got to have a lot of trust. I'd be worried. My biggest worry would probably be doing the neck breaker. Like the pile driver.
Yeah.
That to me that seems pretty rough.
The net breaker's pretty cool,
Yeah.
but it depends on how you do the net breaker. You know what I'm talking
Uh-huh.
When he was out on Taz,
Mm-hmm.
and they said the Taz broke said that Taz or Owen Hart broke Stone Cold's neck.
Yeah,
It was like a tombstone.
exactly.
And ever since, it's like ever since that happened and stuff, Stone Cold's never been the same again.
Exactly. That messed him up bad. And I don't know why they did that move the way they did. You can see that it looks like his head's too far down. Like he should have just
Yeah,
tucked it on like the upper
yeah,
thighs.
yeah,
Because I've seen people do pile drivers different ways where like their neck doesn't even go in between the thighs. It's more like by
yeah,
the stomach and but
yeah,
I would just worry about that too. Like I think that's one of the ultimate like you can break your
yeah,
neck so easy with that, you know?
yeah. Well, I just wonder if like Daniel Bryan's grabbing at his head and his neck and stuff. I
Yeah.
just wonder if Daniel Bryan's come back too early.
I'm sure he is because that's how they run that business up there. They push these guys too much. Um,
Yeah,
let them be. I know it's money, but you know what? People's lives are on the line, and there's a big topic I want to talk about eventually about drugs and professional wrestling and healthcare and all that. And that's one of the things. I mean, this is someone's life. You know, they're a son, they're a brother, daughter, whatever. Um,
yeah,
and like they just don't care. I mean, it just seems like they'll say all this and they'll cover it up with their medical and all that, their medical claims, and they say their doctors are all on the up and
yeah.
up and stuff. But to me, I think they push these guys too hard, too much, and they don't give them time to rest and recuperate.
Well, it's like I'll be truthful with you, and I'll agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
But like when it was back in like the NWA and stuff like that,
yeah,
they didn't do the flippy crap like they did back in the NWA. NWA was working.
yeah,
But it's like now you see on TV, it's always talking, or you gonna have like they don't have the storylines anymore. There's nothing really on TV and stuff.
I know. I I haven't honestly watched WWE in a full capacity since 2003, and the only reason I watched it then was because there was WCW guys there. Um,
So WCW,
yeah,
great company.
I
I
loved it.
love it.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And they had some good high flyers. Raparka.
Yeah,
Raparka's a great worker.
I agree. I really liked him too.
He's super crazy and all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guys.
Back when I was like 15,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought wrestling was not what I wanted to be in, but
yeah,
once I got learning and stuff, and I turned like 21 and had my first match, I went, this ain't that bad.
absolutely.
And then when they made the DVD of me, when I cut my forehead and stuff,
Yeah,
a lot of people wanted to beat up on me for it and wanted to call me I'm not a good professional wrestler, I'm just a joke.
yeah.
But I'm going from that because I want to shut them up and show them that I can work and be better than I am.
Well, I mean, you're the real winner out of that because you're globally known probably because the DVD sales for High Swats and all that. So, I mean, really, you get the last laugh, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like I worked at a show like over the weekend,
yeah,
and there was like a bunch of guys was down there, and they was telling me, they said, man, Little Donnie, you've come a long ways from the DVD.
yeah. Well, you're
And I
determined.
said, well, I've tried to learn from the DVD. I said, yeah, I know I made myself look stupid as crap from the DVD.
Yeah,
I said, but you live and learn from your mistakes.
very true. So life's all about.
I said, the DVD, yes. I said, if it weren't for the DVD, I might have not been where I'm at right now.
Oh, it was a good launching pad, you know.
Yeah,
Got
the
you going.
DVD might help me. The DVD might help me climb the ladder and make me where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean it's very true, and they can't argue with that. You know, you can't argue with the success, and that's what I said. Like when I watched you on the Bon Voyage DVD, I could tell like you're really getting good. Like
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. Like, but
It's like you were saying a while ago. Yes, I think I'm getting a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit too good on that. some pretty good workers. Rusty Rodriguez, Colt 45, Levy.
Yeah.
Some good workers I've worked and stuff, and I always got that respect there for them and stuff. And it's like when you work with somebody, you gotta have that respect, or you're not going to get it back.
Very true.
And that's what I've learned since I have backed away from I don't even watch WWE that much.
Yeah.
But all it is it's like a soap opera now.
Yeah, a lot of talk. It's always, and that's their problem. They,
TNA's got a good thing going right now.
Yeah, they're starting to get their act together, but it just, my problem with them has been they just always offer too much that they can't deliver.
Yeah.
They're always out of sync in some way. It just seems like they're very hungry to get WWE guys.
Yeah. Have you heard when it's Global Force coming in?
Yeah, we actually did a couple podcasts about it. You know what? It's almost. I'm going to do another podcast soon because it's been a year and we have no actual roster for this company yet. There's nothing. All it is basically is a company that's going to. Basically, I can explain it like this. Jeff Jarrett has aligned himself, it looks like, with 12, 14 different wrestling promotions from around the world. They're going to showcase probably each of them in some aspect on a pay-per-view format for at least 6 months or so. But there's a plan to get a roster, a television deal, and a network somewhere. Okay, Storm Maverick again. Okay. So he's coming.
Storm Maverick's a great worker,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody said they had him against Raider Rock the other night.
Yeah, Raider Rock told me about it. He said it, unfortunately, it was only about 3 minutes at the Redneck Rumble. It wasn't very long.
Yeah, why would you want to put like a... Yeah, I'm not a fan of Raider Rock can't work. Raider Rock's a good worker when he wants to be.
Yeah.
I want to work Raider Rock, but I don't know if Raider Rock would want to work there or not.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he probably won't like my chops or punches or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because here lately, I've been chopping pretty hard.
Yeah, stiff. You know, that's the name of the game sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I know Raider Rock was saying he wants to challenge Big Donnie for the $5 title. So we'll see what happens.
I see that.
Yeah, it'd be a good match. It'd be fun to watch.
I think that'd be the biggest butt whooping that Raider Rock's ever got in his life.
Oh wow, okay.
Because Raider Rock killed on something in that match to mess up.
Oh man.
And when you mess up, my brother, you pay. You pay dearly.
Very true.
Did you watch the match? It was against Jeff Hart, my brother.
Yeah.
Jeff Hart took 5 splashes from my brother.
Yeah, your brother gives a good splash.
Oh yeah, Jeff Hart said he had it for 4 days.
Oh, I believe it.
And when you see that big man coming down at you, and if he don't touch his knees, that means he's mad and you done messed up.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I've messed up in the past. I took a Vader bomb from my brother.
Oh man.
I've took a moonsault from my brother.
Holy heck.
I've took a last ride from my brother.
Jeez.
A sit down last ride.
Lucky to be alive.
I took Worship Tombstone.
Oh wow.
Cause last time I took one, I went right down on my head.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's
I
dangerous.
My head and everything, and it was on pavement.
Wow.
Pavement's not the best thing.
No, that's very dangerous.
Thumbtacks.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Thumbtacks was my best thing in the world.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Thumbtacks, a lot of people said, yeah, they hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but you get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, people enjoy that, you know.
And Bob Wire would have to be my second.
Barbed wire. Okay, that's definitely gotta hurt.
Uh, I cut, like, back last year, I cut my first time being hit by a light tube.
Uh huh.
I was in, like, a three-way in Jasper, Tennessee against Little Donnie and Pork Chop Cash. And I was actually cut to my limit.
Definitely. Yeah, it's
It
dangerous.
was, Dave got it out. I take the DVDs out. It was, I bled everywhere, cut my hand open
Mm-hmm.
by hitting a lock bulb back in my wrist.
Yeah.
Hit my brother upside the head with a lock bulb of my wrist.
Wow.
Cut it open. A lot of people say the wrestling's fake. Wrestling's not. When you go out here and you do chairs and stuff like that, a lot of people say it's like padding chairs.
Yeah.
I got before you. Chairs hurt. I got
Absolutely.
room for you. Hardware hurts. I got room for you. Thumbtack hurts.
Oh yeah.
It's like somebody sets you on fire. It hurts.
Yeah, it's not feeling good.
It's not fake like everybody says it is.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you see people are like, I have grown a lot, and I'm sure you're realizing and stuff. I've grown a lot in the business, like listen to the veterans, and you
Yeah.
learn from the veterans and stuff like that, instead of going out here and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like George South, I've learned a lot from George South, and I respect George South a lot.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
And like Jake Manning, I respect him. He gave me a place to work at $5 wrestling, and he believes in me, and he knows I'll go out there and give him 100% every night.
Which is great. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome, brother.
Man, great show.
Give me a holler anytime, and is that your number, the one that you call me from?
Yep, that's me.
I'll call you, I'll give you a holler Friday, and I'll let you know if that, show in Jasper, Tennessee, I'll let you know if it's on, internet review.
That'd be great. Thank you.